Michelle.
Yes.
You know, I just met you, right?
Right.
I just met you. And when I met you, you had a big smile on your face.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like, you know, everything going great for you. You're happily married.
Mm-hmm.
Your husband's happy. First time I met him, he had a big smile on his face as well. But I know from listening to you, you have now this is what I get from what you told me.
Go ahead.
You have some physical wounds, emotional wounds, and mental wounds. So past injustices. How are you dealing with your past injustices today?
Okay. So my story, I was older than you ladies at the time. I was 22, and my family's gonna see this too. But my story was very public, unfortunately. I was 22 years old, lived in a small town, West Point, Mississippi, and unlike you, I did party. I partied, I clubbed, I made my outfits, they were interesting. They were real interesting. And at the time I had a 2-year-old daughter. And I was in and out of this relationship, and you know, it was crazy. We fussed and, you know, cussed each other out, and you know, it was drama. Everybody had those relationships. So, but what happened was, like on the 8th of January 2003, my house got broken into at 4:08 in the morning. With nobody at the house but me and my baby. She was 2 at the time, so she was in the bed and heard the door come in. At that time, I knew nobody should have been coming in. Nobody had a key, and it was one way in, one way out. So I was at his mercy. I had to do what he told me to do. And so after I was sexually assaulted, then he just pretty much beat the living hell out of me. Broke my neck, stabbed me multiple times. I know over 16 times, not sure exact number. Face, neck, you know, shoulders, down my stomach, vaginal area, you name it. He had a field day with scissors. And he just was stick and twist. But he never knew my name. Like, he didn't call me out my name. I kind of, you know, on TV you expect, I don't know, you had this kind of image of the attacker, this monster. So, but he didn't call me out my name, he didn't cuss me out, any of this stuff. The only thing he asked me after I didn't have any money was, you ain't dead yet, somewhere in the middle of my attack. And I went, you know, and when he left, the baby's still there, the baby had to see me. Eyes beat shut, I had no idea how bad I was. Built her up, you know, talking and praying until I felt cold. I knew it was gonna be bad, you know, I didn't know how bad I was, but I knew I was going cold. Sent her to my neighbor, she went and got help, you know. Terrible, worst thing ever. Because I didn't know where he was, didn't know if he was outside my door, didn't know if he was gone. Just didn't know. Anyway, get to the hospital, and of course, if you just come out of a bad relationship, everybody automatically thinks it's your ex. They just do. It doesn't click that, yes, you can have a dramatic relationship, and you can still be the victim of an attack by a stranger. So that automatically was a no-go. You know, it just was drama from day one. Didn't do well, they sent me to the next hospital, emergency surgeries. You know, doctor, you're gonna be paralyzed from your neck down for the rest of your life. You know, didn't believe it, Lord didn't tell me that. You know, I may have had my wild days and moments, but I always believed in God, and I always believed in his power. And I feel like if this is how he meant to leave me, he would have told me that himself. You know, I was like, now I told the doctor that. I said, Lord know I got a baby. He know I got a 2-year-old. So he wouldn't have brought me off this floor to leave me like that. I ain't never believed it. So walked out the hospital 30 days later. Broken and beaten. At the time, I did not know they had not caught my attacker. That's the part I didn't know. Go ahead.
It's your baby, you can make a sign.
Yes, I could hear her crying, and he kept telling her to go back to the front room. So, and he told me if I screamed at all, because my neighbors were close enough, we were in an apartment complex. My neighbors were close enough that if I screamed, they would hurt me. But if I made a sound, he told me he was gonna hurt her. It won't work there. Just had to take the chance, you know. And the very first from the very first time I stepped off the bed, I thought he was gonna let me get away. I offered him my car. So I don't have any money, but you can have my car. And he said, where are the keys? I said, they're in the front room. And I put the baby on my hip. I figured if I could get to that front room, I was gonna try that door. By the time my foot hit the floor, he broke my neck with his fist. So after that, I didn't have a chance. You just had to take it. So, but when I got home, I expected, that's when I found out they have not called anybody. I still thought my cover's at the crime lab, they're gonna catch somebody soon. I thought the police believed me. I thought the town believed me. That when I got home, I discovered that was not the case. That's when I found out everything was in question. And I'm already healing from, and I looked like Frankenstein. I looked like absolute Frankenstein. I didn't want to go in public. I had stab wounds deep enough to put the tip of your fingers in. And I just asked the Lord to fix me. I'm like, I can't go to my baby's school like this. You know that old gospel song, one woman's daughter's ashamed of? I didn't want that. And I just asked him, Lord, please don't leave me like this. You know. So later on, I found out, I'm calling the police. I want to know the update on the case. And eventually I found out nothing went to the crime lab. No fingerprints have been taken. Nothing. It's like, oh, you're lying about it. You know who did it. It has to be your ex. You just don't want to tell it. That was it. That was it. So.
Is it because it was a small town?
Yeah, small town, and because it's just the way it worked. And then, so to add to my own drama, I looked so terrible. I looked terrible. I felt terrible about myself. I felt that my partying had brought this on. Like if I hadn't clubbed, because they're telling me it had to be somebody you rejected. It had to be da-da-da. So like, had I not been out there in the street, maybe this wouldn't happen to me. And I felt so bad, and I felt like nobody would want to touch me again. Right. It is, unless you've been there, like we've been there, you feel so dirty and discarded and damaged. And so, I get with my ex again, and we're in a good place. I get pregnant. So then you gotta go to church. Like, how you get pregnant after you get raped? You must have really not been raped. Because, nobody would go through that. If you were as bad as off as we saw, you ought to be, now you got some church guilt too, because you ought to just be thankful he kept you. But here you are again, now you done got pregnant again. So you're not traumatized. So I'm in the counseling office like, how in the world am I going to explain this? I'm like, I still look a mess, I feel a mess, I don't sleep, So that's my story, And so later on when I got better, I decided, I had to move. I needed a fresh start. My mom took a job in Tennessee. That's how I ended up here. She took a job. She's like, we're gonna do this fresh start thing. I come right behind her. And went to school, didn't know what I could do. Still couldn't write, because I'm right hand dominant, but I lost that in the staff. So when I went to school, I said, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I know my mind is still sharp. My body may not be, but my mind still is. So they, wrote out, got help, got somebody else to take notes, decided I was gonna be a teacher, used that to try to change other people's lives, and talk about it and discuss. So to answer your question on how do I fight injustice now, years later, I find out not only did I not have anything in the crime lab, I don't even have a case. They don't even have my case file. Nobody can tell you where it is. So I have written the Attorney General of Mississippi, I've written attorneys, civil rights attorneys, because I really just want I want somebody to acknowledge that I was done wrong. I got to have that. I can't wash it on the rug. I have tried to move from it. I have tried to move away from it. But we need to accept that this happened. And I wasn't the only victim. I was the third victim. They didn't even tell me that. I found that out later. So for me, when I see injustice, I speak out. I'm writing, I'm, speaking when somebody asks me to speak. I'm gonna do whatever I can to support, to be an advocate for other victims. I can't shut up about it. I would like to. You don't want that to be the first thing people know about you. But somebody somewhere is at home ashamed. Or like you said about the backyard, I went to overdose in Fred's parking lot. I just felt like I was a burden. you know, if you can't sleep, my family, I had really supportive family. They arranged for somebody to stay with me every night until I moved to Tennessee. For over a year, they had a whole schedule. Who's gonna stay with them? Because they knew I couldn't stay by myself. I couldn't do power outages. I couldn't do any of that. My husband, super supportive, you know, wouldn't even work a shift. You know, he just not doing a night shift. But he wouldn't even work a shift because he's like, she can't be there by herself, you know. So, but now I'm at the point, like you said, about conquering and taking back. I feel like I've lost enough. I've given enough. So I'm at the point where I didn't get to go on the stand, a witness stand in front of the judge and jury and tell my story. But this way, I get to tell my story. I get to tell what happened. And I'm not the only one who the police or, you know, and this is not bashing all police. My brother's a cop. But I'm not the only one who was dealt a bad hand here. I'm not the only one who wanted to give up or who felt like they were too much of a burden for their family to handle. That the PTSD was too bad, the depression was too bad. So I just want to be in a position where I can say, you know, yes, we went through hell. It's not right, but we can move forward from it, and we can move forward by reclaiming our stories and telling it, you know, the way we need to tell it.
Because it's your story.
Yes, it don't have to be polished or pretty.
That's right.
It's just
your
what
story.
it is.
That's right.
That's a good thing that we can sit here and talk about it now, because, you know, at times you catch yourself thinking like, what could I have done different? What, you know, what could I have said to somebody else? And then when you meet somebody that has been through the same thing that you've been through, it's like, okay, I feel a little better, but you know, it's still, you know, it's still there, but it's like you can relate to somebody. You can say, you know, take notes from what they did, you know, to get over it, to conquer it, to be better in life, you know what I'm saying? So, and I get what you're saying, because as a school teacher, you know, you see little girls that are going through the same thing, and they don't, you know, they might not be going through the same thing, but they're having issues, and they want somebody to talk to. And when you know, tell them what happened to you, it's like, okay, now I feel comfortable. I can talk to you. Even though, you know, they might not have been molested, somebody is mentally abusing them, physically abusing them, as far as, you know, punching on them and, you know, doing different things.
Sexually.
Right. So it's like, you can encourage them to go on and not give up. Because this, you know, a lot of them want to do that now. They want to give up. They want to drop out of school. Life is it's too hard, you know. So it is rewarding being able to talk about it and, you know, just elaborate with other people and say, hey, what did you do? How did you feel? You know.
I ran into so many young women, because I don't hide my story from my kids know my story. Every story I have, I'm just very open with my life, because, and I'm only mentioning this because all three of us did mention God. And that's the only reason why I mention this, is that for a moment I was very angry at God. I was more angry at him than I was my mom. My mom didn't create me. She was just a vessel. I was really, really angry at God for a while. And I just wanted to know why. Why would you let this kind of stuff happen? I had to realize in my life that life happens.
Right.
And God lets life happen.
Right.
Life happens. And so since I know that life happens, let me find my purpose with that. Right? With every situation, every traumatic, every good, bad, ugly, nasty, what is my purpose in this? I can't blame God for any of these things, because God created me to live. All right? There's a scripture in the Bible that says, for this purpose was Pharaoh born. And me and my husband used to argue about that all the time, because I was like, he had no choice. He had a purpose. I'm gonna leave that at that.